Hmm? Ah! Oh.
Lizzie, what are you doing?
I'm putting magnets on the fridge. What do you think I'm doing?
All right, welcome to the show. My name is Alex,
See,
and
we're just too cute, Alex. Sorry.
oh yeah, I was putting your magnets on the floor. I mean, on the refrigerator.
Oh, the fridge. I just
And
think we're too cute.
yeah, we are. We're something. I don't know what we are. But welcome to the show. Today we are talking. We've got 2 more episodes, and now we have one. Season 3, episode 9, Revelations, chapter 1. And Sunday is From Day, so we just want to welcome everybody that's here to the show. And so, what was your first thoughts there? Oh wait, before we do that, I just want to tell anybody that's listening, if you love what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. We are almost to 800 subscribers, and our goal is to get to 1,000 by next podcast. And we're very close to our 3,000 viewer hours. So if you want to hit that subscribe button, which is, I think, down that way, I don't know, whichever way it was. And then
Southwest, southeast.
we're gonna talk a little bit more about the little commercial that we did, because we got a couple of different merch items that we're doing as well. So, Lizzie, what was your first thoughts of this episode?
I was like, wow, it just was all these little puzzle pieces, and they were starting to, find their little places to go in. I'm not sure what's up with Tabitha. So I thought, but I loved, I don't know, the Miranda thing was heartbreaking. Anyway, what did you think?
I mean, I thought it wasn't the finale,
No,
which
thank
was
God.
kind of upsetting. I did
Yeah,
like the smiley callback, you know.
yeah,
I I liked, there's a bunch of stuff I liked. There was just little moments that were there, but I think there's a lot of creepy stuff still going on, and I think
yeah.
that there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Which, when I did a Instagram live just to kind of promote tonight, and people were like, "Oh, it was really boring." I'm like, "Yeah, of course it's going to be boring. It's the one right before the finale. Like, they're not going to answer everything today." So I mean, like, give me a break.
I don't get that. I don't understand how anyone could say that it was boring.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
it just comes down to people just don't get the problem is this show is filmed um like one, I think. I mean, I know they do it episode by episode, but I think that there's a lot to be said for seeing the whole season all at once. And
Right.
and and I think that when you do that, you're gonna you're gonna you can understand a lot more. Like when we binge season 1, season 2, or now season 3, you're in
Yeah.
that world, so you know everything that's going on. I think,
Yeah.
it's hard when you have all these little callbacks to different things and you just don't remember. So it does, and every episode can't answer mysteries. I mean, so
Well, yeah, because you need some of the
the
pieces
filler,
parts to
yeah.
create the yeah. And I don't want to say filler in the,
Not
it's
in a
just
bad way, but you need that
not in a bad
backstory. You
way.
need to have a lot of different stuff that goes on. And and,
Yeah.
I, and I'm hoping, because we're on right now, we are on our YouTube, we're on Podcastica YouTube, and I think we're on our Twitter account as
Wow,
well.
we're
I
all
try to
over the
attach it
place.
to our Twitter. So we're all over the place today. So hopefully we get a bunch of people here. And where do you want to start today, Liz?
All right, so we're gonna start with the Matthews family. We'll start our little day off there. And so we start in the clinic and Christy is looking over Julie. And at that point, they decide that they're going to stay the night. And so during that time, Jim finds out that Julie was in the woods with Randall. So, I mean, it sounds like he reacted like my mom would have reacted, like, and it felt like that, but it's more so that Randall is kind of like a hothead, and we don't know that we could trust him. I mean, he did tie Donna to a tree.
Yeah, but that was
So
like a week ago.
I know. And that's not that long ago, but he was actually doing something nice and trying to teach her how to drive. So let's see. Jim decides he's got to go down and talk to Randall. And so he goes down, and Randall is looking at his face like, I think I'd be spending a lot of time either absolutely not looking or just wondering what was going to happen to my face, you know? What would I be looking like? So I don't know. I don't know that they're even changing the bandages because I could have sworn that Randall's bandage was bloody over by his mouth the last
Right.
episode. So he tells Jim that Julie was drawn to the ruins. And, that makes sense because she drags Ethan back with her. Like, against her better judgment, she takes Ethan back with her. And what I was wondering is if he could be drawn to it at another time, or if it is like totally no way for him.
Right.
Um, does the energy change so that, different people are attracted at different times? So, Jim's getting ready to go back upstairs, and Randall's like, teach her to drive. But then he says, since none of us are getting out of here alive.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, he's real optimist. But I will say this though.
yeah,
I mean, Randall has been, and I beat him up too. I mean, he came off really bad in the beginning in season 2. And
yeah,
they have done whatever they can to pick on Randall for some reason. And
yeah,
they threw Boyd under the bus because of Randall. They have not utilized him in any way, shape, or form, and rightfully so. No, rightfully so. It's just that
yeah,
right now he's a very valuable asset that they don't really understand,
yeah,
because he's got a connection. They are like tormenting this guy, and we don't know why they're picking on him so much. Yes, they're picking
yeah.
on Julie. They really haven't. Messed with
Merrily,
Marilyn at all.
Marielle.
Marielle
Yeah.
at all.
I,
And
it's weird that she doesn't say anything about it. Like,
right.
she won't, she's just like, it's not happening to me, and says
And maybe
nothing.
something will happen next episode. And I just want to say before
Yeah.
we go any further, we have over 74, 75 now listeners, and I just watchers. And I just want to say
Oh,
thank you so much for spending the time. I know this is a big episode. A lot has been answered. We're starting to get some more answers now, and we're going up to 77. Hopefully we get to 100. And this just shows how great this show is. Not
yeah.
us. I'm talking about From. And the work that they've done this season it's been, and I'm not, in terms of first thoughts about this season's been awful in terms of it's a downer. It's a great season, but I'm saying
Oh. I'm like,
it has been absolutely heartbreaking from
oh
the
my
minute.
God. I'm sitting here questioning whether I even liked season 2 now because this season's been so great.
No, but my point being is it has been
Yeah.
a downer from day one. We lost more than one character, one
Yeah.
major character, and a couple of minor characters, and then
Yeah.
we gained some people. But the thing is, in all of that, they have done such a great job of really promoting this. But the Matthews family, going back to what you said, they're trying to work stuff out. They're trying to be more of a family. And Jim finally admits that he's friggin' crazy. He's been an awful father. He's been an awful husband, and all he's doing is causing more problems with his craziness. And for a guy that as smart as he is off the reservation. Now, you can say he's off his game because of the whole radio thing, but there's more to it than this. I mean, he went after Jade. He's gone after Randall. He's gone after he went after Donna at one point last season. I mean, come on, people. I want to love the character, but because we both love Eion, but he is just, I'm like, if he died, it would be like, see ya. I just have no use for it right now.
I just feel like he has taken too long to get in step. When he goes to Tabitha and says, look, I'm going to support you. You're definitely figuring this place out. I'm going to be there for you. Like when he finally says, hey, I've been slacking on my job, my husband's job, and I'm going to start supporting you.
It's like almost a little too late. It's almost a little too late. But you know what? I'm saying this, I think they missed an opportunity with him. Maybe there's a reason why they did it, but I think that he could have been more valuable this season. And I mean, he had a lot of great, like season 1 was really good, and season 2 was just kind of But anyway,
he wasn't really in it. It felt like he wasn't really in it much in season 2.
Right, that's what I mean. So
he's been in a lot of this episode. I mean, a lot of this season. We've seen a lot of him.
Right.
He's been pretty pissed off most of it, but
well. So then they you want to go to the diner next, or you want to still stay at the clinic?
I'm done with the clinic. The only other thing to mention is that Tabitha says that Julie is not telling them something. So I'm ready to go to Donna. And it's just her basically up at Colony House, and then when she's out doing search party with Acosta, which I thought was an interesting pairing considering the rumor. I'm just saying. I'm
think
not feeding the rumor.
No. I think this is a great scene because if anybody has watched this show, they pulled on every single heartstring during that whole when she was in Colony House. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, just walking around, remember Fatima's anniversary party was one of the early episodes.
Exactly.
And
it was episode 8.
Felt like, what's that?
It was episode 8 because that's when we met Smiley.
Oh, wait a minute. Jasmine.
And that's when Jasmine came in.
Yeah.
I thought that I wanted to be at that party. There was just something about it. I just wanted to be there at that party, in that episode. But
but that's why I put, and we're up to 90 now. Oh my God.
Yay.
That's why I put up her face because on the cover this week, because I know a lot's going on, but she and Boyd have been the rocks of this place. And to see her get dismantled and then they showed her at Colony House talking about the anniversary. Then they showed her again with her sister, the picture of her sister. And then Boyd comes in. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stuff, which I know you're going to go over. I don't want to,
no, that's all right. I mean, she's just seeing her world. Like, remember right after the Jasmine attack, she was really upset because she felt that Colony House was destroyed. Everything that she had built was destroyed. And
that she built.
Yeah, that she built. Yeah. And in this episode,
you're seeing it, this is like an even lower point of that, because it seemed like she bounced back for a bit, but
Right.
in this episode, she just seems so low, like, just being like staring endlessly at the picture of herself with her sister and walking around the house and seeing the scenes,
Right. No, no,
and
absolutely.
she doesn't want to be bothered by anyone until Boyd comes knocking. And she tells him that she's not going to spill the beans about Fatima having killed Tilly, which I
Right.
think is a smart idea. Um, so it's at that point they decide that they're going to go set up. You make an announcement and set up a search party. But I want to jump from there over to her and Acosta, Donna and Acosta being out looking for Fatima, or Fatima. I want to say it right.
Fatima.
So at any rate, what's that?
Fatima.
Fatima. I'm doing it right. It's not
It's fine.
Fatima.
That's the way they say it on the show.
All right. I don't want to be like all cicada cicada.
You know what the problem is? I've heard it Fatima or Fatima. And
Fatima.
everybody said it like Donna says it's Fatima, Ella says Fatima, and so does Boyd. So no matter what we
Yeah.
do, we're wrong. But
Yeah.
but again, we're at 99. Let's see if we can get one more. Gotta take a picture of that baby.
Yeah. So we've got oh, wait a minute. Elgin is so creepy. I wish we could send Nathan
Oh,
a
don't
link.
worry. I've been sending him stuff all week about
Oh,
lotion in the
okay.
basket.
Okay. So at any rate, um Acosta so like she's not chilling in any way, shape, or form. Like it's been a couple of days that she's been there. She has not calmed down. And it just makes me think that she is a very in your face, kind of like very strong personality that just isn't getting it. She's not even breaking at all.
Yeah.
So she questions Boyd's information from Sarah about Fatima,
Right.
right? So Donna tells her that Sarah is connected to this place, and like as far as we know, Acosta has not had the little sit down chat about what this place is. She's just
Right.
getting bits
Right.
and pieces from everybody. And we know that when Donna is saying that Sarah is connected to this place, it's just something a little bit more.
Well,
Donna
yeah.
tells,
No, I'm saying yeah.
oh, yeah, okay. Donna tells Acosta that she's wrong, that Sarah um, didn't kill Sarah and Fatima, Tilly and
Yeah.
Fatima.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just my notes. Um, Donna tells Acosta that she doesn't understand this place, which is what we know. She hasn't really tried to understand this place, despite everyone saying this place isn't like home, you know?
But you know what
Come on.
though? To that point, first off, and one thing I'm mad at both of them about, just
Yeah,
in general. We've got Acosta who knows she's not in the right place. Like everything's messed up. And then you've got Donna who knows everything's messed up. And between the two of them, they've not given Acosta an inch.
right.
And they also haven't given her any answers. So of course she's going to be um a little defensive. And so it just it makes sense. But I mean, for her to explain, when Donna explains about Sarah, there's things I don't have time to give you all these things about this place and da 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 da. We'll talk later. That means that she's dead. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not saying she is.
yeah,
I have no idea, but it's like always
yeah,
the famous last words kind of thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
no,
Like
but
that's
what I
the
want to
end.
do is before you go on, what are the listeners out there? What do you guys think? The 108 of you, the 109 of you think about that conversation. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, she just got out of the academy. You're absolutely right, and they make no bones about that. She is a rookie. And
yeah,
if you go back to our interview with her, she says, "I'm a rookie cop." So she's been there,
yeah,
but that doesn't mean that she's a dumb person.
Yeah. I enjoyed that interview a lot, and I'm almost glad that I had to miss it.
You weren't going on
Because
that interview.
I
There was
wasn't, I just
no,
wasn't ever.
no, it was, oh my God.
You would have given me the
Um,
wrong link.
oh my God, she was amazing, and she's
She
awesome.
was. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I was listening to it at work, and um, I really liked her talking about her character and the whole thing because I don't
I
who
wanted to
knows how much
defend her.
time she had to prep. What?
I wanted to defend her a little bit because I think people just don't understand her take. They just think and they don't understand how an officer works.
Yeah,
And that's the problem. I mean, I think that there's a lot. Like she said it with Donna, I am a resource and you guys aren't
yeah,
using me. And the reason they're
yeah,
not using her because she's been there for 2 seconds and
yeah.
she's
She
not
doesn't know
trustworthy.
everything.
Well,
Yeah,
she's not trustworthy enough to know, to be told
yeah,
everything yet. And that's kind of
yeah.
silly. I mean, I think if they had told her what had happened, yeah, she would have had a problem with it. But you know what? I think if they had said, listen, this is what we're going to do, then they could use her as more of a resource down the
Well,
road.
the interesting thing is, Tabitha and Julie show up at Colony House the first time,
Right.
and they're like tying them up.
Well,
You
that's
know
my
what I
point.
mean? Acosta was someone they needed to tie up just to calm her down or to just subdue her
Well, and
somehow.
that's the thing. That's the protocol that they have.
But they
Now wait,
didn't follow it with her.
let's see what November baby has to say, or baby November. I was frustrated
Miss
with
Baby November.
thank you. If you can
Sorry.
read it, you can read it. You can read it.
Oh, okay. I was frustrated when Acosta asked why the voices didn't tell Sarah where Fatima was, that Donna didn't say. The voices Sarah hears aren't trying to be helpful. They're supposed to make her crazy, which I thought the same thing.
I-
Like when Sarah is telling Boyd about what the voices said, and I'm like, they sound pretty helpful. I'm like, why was she so stressed out? Like, getting the messages. I'm like, hey, she's over here, she's
well,
close. I'm like, they're being nice until she said they were laughing,
but see,
like
this is the
laughing.
thing. This is the thing. I'm not frustrated with Acosta because she doesn't know Sarah. She hasn't
No,
even
she
met
doesn't.
Sarah. So she
All
isn't.
she knows is that Sarah killed somebody.
She's like a killer. When she sees Sarah,
Yeah.
she'll want to like go out for like squishmallows and popcorn or something. I mean,
You remember when Elgin first gets there
yeah.
and he goes into the church and Sarah's in the church
Right.
and he's all like,
Hey, how you doing?
making the eyes like, how you doing? Right. And
Oh,
then
wait.
finds
I'm
out
sorry.
about her.
Yeah.
I was frustrated with Donna for not communicating that.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
no, that makes more sense. I was like,
Yeah.
but you know what though? In Donna's defense right now, I think I think that Donna is in a bad place right now, and she is in survival mode, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah. All right. So Donna, let's see, she doesn't understand this place. Acosta demands that Donna tell her how this place works because Donna knows something and isn't sharing it with her. And Donna tells her that she can't walk her through the many ways this place will fuck with your head. And so Donna tells her to trust her and help her, and she will tell her, you know.
Right. No,
Um, yeah. I mean, I can understand wanting to know all this stuff, but like if she's a cop, she's not yet a detective, but I'm sure she had some training in the academy. Like, why isn't she collecting clues
well,
if
she's
that's the
trying to,
case?
but nobody's giving her any information. Like
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like she hit the nail on the head with Donna. She's like, you're
yeah,
not telling me everything. What the frig is going
yeah,
on? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a, a police officer to figure it out. But
yeah.
when nobody's giving you an answer and they keep putting you off, you kind of look a little crazy. But you also kind of um, yeah, you're just a little crazy. I mean, I don't know what to say about that because she's just in such a bad place.
Yeah.
But that said, where else do you want to go now? Do you want to go back to the meeting or do you want to go?
I want to skip over to Boyd.
Okay,
Boyd and Ellis spent a lot of time together, which if we jump back to season 1, Ellis wasn't talking to Boyd. So while Boyd and Ellis search for Fatima, Boyd has a Parkinson's attack, and so badly that he almost can't walk. And every time Boyd stumbles through something, all I hear is Cowboy saying, "You said we couldn't break you."
right.
And I'm
And
like, they're throwing it all on him.
I, I really,
Everything.
I really do believe that, and this is the thing about this place that is really pissing me off in terms of, uh, the survivors. Yes, he's got Parkinson's, he's got this, he's got that, but he
Yeah,
doesn't. Meaning this, I'm not saying he doesn't have it. What I'm saying is they can turn the volume up and down at any time. Okay.
yeah,
And this is the thing that's really making me mad. They haven't figured that out yet.
yeah.
Okay.
Like,
And that's
yeah,
my point is like the whole, just let me finish. The whole thing
yeah,
with his wife, they turned it up. The whole thing with Thomas, which we're going to get to in a minute down the
yeah,
road. Um,
yeah,
you know, that's pissing me off because I'm like, you're a freaking asshole, meaning the entity. And it's like, then to top it off, when they're having that conversation, I swear to God, you can talk about all the blood and guts you want. The scariest friggin' thing when that nurse went like this,
oh my
boom,
god,
folks, you got to tell me, was that crazy town or what? Because
oh my gosh.
I am like, this stuff they're throwing down.
Well,
Um,
he looked unhinged when he was at the window. Like, he pulls the gun knowing that it's not going to do any good, and he can't shoot through the window because she can come in at
yeah,
that point.
I mean,
And
that was just bad. That was crazy town. And the
it
fact
was
that
perfect.
and she is just friggin' a creepy person, looking person. I mean, like the way they have her made up and everything. I mean, I know so in last week's or I'm sorry, in the Samantha Brown interview, I had said that the FX has been really great. And somebody
Yeah,
had commented that, oh, they look like they're 1980 with Dale and the Wall. Well, that may be looking like 1980, but these monsters are as good as any monsters they've done in TV. I mean, they
yeah,
are just they're freaky. And maybe I'm wrong because I don't see a lot of like blood and guts. I know there's a lot. I know Daphne, who does Run for Your Lives, is on, and
yeah,
they just finished Teacup, which we're going to talk about later. But my point being is, I think they just did such a crazy job with making these people crazy. I shouldn't say crazy. They made them so creepy by not making them overly creepy.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like they're just so plain, and it's like when your mom
yeah.
would get quiet when you were up
They're
when she was wanted
unassuming.
to. But
Yeah,
I do love that Ellis and Boyd are talking. I
yeah,
just the problem is it's like they can't it's like you can never get on the same page. Like when he's good, he's not good. When he's good,
yeah, yeah.
it's a shame.
And
Um,
Boyd is like, freaking out thinking he's falling apart. Like he's having the worst um Parkinson's attacks that he's had since. And I don't know, like it's like in this place you cannot be cocky. You have to keep your thoughts to yourself
right.
and your dares to yourself, you know?
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
gosh,
Um,
I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm cold. Okay. So,
before we get to the next thing, where
yeah.
do you want to go after? Where do you want to go?
Well, I was still working with Boyd and
Okay,
Ellis.
once we finish Boyd and Ellis, let me know.
Okay. So next morning, they spent the night in the station. So the next morning, Boyd and Alice argue about what to do. And then Sarah comes in and shares her experience with
Right.
the voices. And she says the voices told her, she comes in saying, "Is Fatima missing?" And then, which
Yeah.
is super suspicious. And then to be even more sus, she asks if Fatima is okay.
Right.
But then
Right.
she tells him that the voices talk to her and want them to know that Fatima is close and afraid.
Right.
Voices were laughing because they won't find her in time and they can't save her. And I'm just like, that's just kind of heartbreaking,
Well, no, that's just
because
messed up. That's just
it
messed
is
up.
messed up because I kind of believe them. And I'm hoping we still have a shot, but like, I love Fatima. Like, that's
I
just
don't
gotta
know. I
be
don't know that they're
heartbreaking.
gonna kill her off, but um I'm not a firm believer that people survivors turn into monsters. That's my first thought.
Yeah,
I believe maybe that a monster will be created, or it could all just evaporate.
yeah,
Like with the worms, how
yeah,
something will happen where it'll evaporate. But right now she's not in a good place. But we'll see what happens. I want to get to that in just a minute, but I
yeah.
do want to do one other thing in just a minute. Because we're where is it? I don't think I have it. All right, never mind. Um,
Okay.
oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I do have it. Because we're at the half hour, right? Okay. So I just want to play this because
Is
I
there
know you.
something going on at the half hour?
Yeah, it's something huge. No, it's not huge. All
Okay.
right, just check this out because you have to realize Lizzie spent minutes on this video.
We
Okay.
have minutes.
So I want everybody to know that she really worked hard, and I had to enhance it for the 5 people that actually watch this podcast.
Lizzie, what are you doing?
I'm putting magnets on the fridge. What do you think I'm doing?
When I was just a little boy,
So for those of you that are listening on the audio podcast, what that is, it's a compilation of all the stickers and the posters and all the other stuff that you can get on the What Is From shop. And if I didn't do that, she would be very upset with me because she's worked really hard on getting all that stuff up there. And we've had a couple of hiccups with the mailing and all sorts of stuff, but honestly, it's not been our fault. So if you guys are looking for stuff, we have a lot of stuff that you can get for the holidays and whatever else. But we are still talking season 3, episode 9, Revelations, chapter
Yeah.
1.
All right.
What do you
Yeah.
want to do?
We're going to Victor, but just let me say, we are just trying to offset our cost for the podcast stuff. So, when we have known Victor through this, he's just been kind of head down and quiet for the most part, um, getting pissed at Jade, rightly so, because Jade took his mother's violin, that sort of thing. But in this episode, I mean, you could see it happening last episode, but this episode, he is just utterly manic. He's ranting that he's at fault for his mother's death. Like it's like things that he was, I don't know, thought he'd figured out just are not lining up in his head. And he's in his room at Colony House throwing everything out the window. He doesn't even care where it lands. There's some people down on the lawn below, and
Right.
he's throwing out all his pictures. He throws the sled out the window.
Well, I
Because
understand
none of
why.
this stuff can help. It only hurts. What's that?
I mean, I understand why because
Yeah.
you know the question is, why is Victor alive? And we haven't answered that yet. We don't know why he's still alive. Now, for those of you playing at home, Victor, the character, was supposed to die in season 1. They brought him back because Scott is an unbelievable actor, and he killed it. But that being said, why did they leave this poor boy to live this long by himself at night, which totally screwed him up? Then they made him believe, because he's a 11-year-old kid at the time or whatever he was, that all this stuff had meaning. Now, it could have been a combination of him just believing it and the entity kind of not doing anything. Also, you have the boy in white, which we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem, the biggest problem with Victor is nobody really knows what he's going through because they've never grown up here. The only person that has an inkling of what he's going through is Ethan, but he doesn't because he's got his family there.
Yeah.
So when he goes crazy through Colony House and like Acosta's got her gun and Kenny's like, whoa, and Donna wasn't around and his dad wasn't around. His dad right now, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, I know, his dad is in a catch-22. I mean, he is in such a bad place. And how do you believe one thing your whole entire life and then you find out it's not what it is? It's like when you grow up, it's kind of like part of life.
Yeah. I mean, gosh,
His world is upside down. And unfortunately, it came crashing down in about 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that.
That's all right. So while he's doing this, Kenny and Acosta come running upstairs, and Acosta is a little too aggressive with Victor. If you notice, Kenny moved his body between Acosta and Victor. And she's not taking the measure of her surroundings. And this is just another instance where this is abundantly clear. She is a hammer that only sees nails. That's all she sees. So Victor, goes by them down to the kitchen and grabs an axe because he's going to go cut down a tree. And if you notice, there's just there's people around in the house just doing whatever. And then there's 2 people sitting at the table and they're eating. And he says that people are not scared. He sees things coming to a point, and no one is noticing that it's happening. They're just treating today like any other day, that things are not building up, that things are not coming to a fever pitch where, it's going to explode. He's been through this before. He's recognizing all the signs, and he feels like he's the only one that's alarmed.
Right.
That's an example of complacency right there. So let's jump over to, he goes out to the actual far away bottle tree. I'm not sure if it's far away or far away. And I kind of like far away better.
I don't know.
I don't know either. So he goes out to the bottle tree and he gives that tree a nice chop. Like he's got a lot of work ahead of him to get this tree down. And then the boy in white shows up and tells him to stop because the tree is important. And I think the answer to this question might be the boy in white.
Just so that people know. So the question that I have, and I'd love for people to comment in the chat, is the boy in white good or bad? And the question is, and this is what's really frustrating, is he because he says to Victor, I gave you guys the answers and you didn't
Yeah,
do
you
what you're supposed
didn't. Yeah, like, yeah. He says, Victor is begging for his help. Like he's standing there. He's like, "You're supposed to be my friend," and he's like, "I am your friend." And Victor is begging for help, and the boy in white says no. He tried with Christopher, but this time he thinks that they need to learn for themselves. And I'm like, of course, it's the time that we are at from with them that they have to learn for themselves.
And they didn't show
But
the conversation. They didn't show. They
yeah,
didn't have the audio of the conversation of him and the boy in white with Christopher.
yeah, yeah, Christopher, because he was telling Christopher in the basement of the church. So they both observed the change within each other. Like the boy in white has gotten a little bit older, and I think that's the way that they're able to keep Vox
I,
on the
I
show.
think that that's a brilliant statement you just said.
But I think what they did was, because it's never been winter, the boy in white has been suspended at a certain age all this
I mean, you can
time.
justify it any way you want. I just
Yeah,
love the fact that, you know what, at the end of the day, we've had a strike and we had winter. And I got to tell you, in terms of this show, it actually might have made it
better.
better.
Yeah, it enhanced it.
Absolutely.
Um,
We're at 150.
so
Yay.
yay. So let's see. They both observe changes in one another, and the boy in white is saying that everything is changing now, almost like what has happened has set off, the clock.
Dominant.
The
The
clock is
dominant.
running.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So Victor again begs for help, because tell me what to do. And the boy just says, don't cut down that tree.
Yeah.
That's all he did. So Daphne is saying, I'm conflicted on this. I don't blame Victor for being skeptical.
I don't blame
Agreed.
Victor for being skeptical at all. I think if I was him, I'd be even more skeptical.
Yeah. I mean, to just be like, it was almost kind of like snarky. Don't
Yeah,
cut down the tree. And he turns around and walks away. And I'm like, man, like, I don't know what happened the last time. Like, we don't exactly know what happened the last time. Um, but whatever happened, Christopher did not do what the boy in white was suggesting that he do. And this time around, and he's had like 40 years to think about it. Boy in white decides they're on their own,
right.
you know.
I will
So
say this before you go on, and this
yeah,
goes back to our first thoughts. And Ty Briggs hits the nail on the head. You can't really judge this episode because it's one of two parts.
yeah.
And
Well, you can if you think it sucks, but I
but
don't
my
think that
point
it
being
sucks.
is, if it's
We
one,
don't know the whole thing.
that's what I mean. When you know the whole story, it might actually be part of something a lot bigger. And I'm really glad that Ty said that because I feel the same way.
Yeah. So, before we say goodbye to Victor for the time being, Daphne is saying this was a rough episode for Victor. He's had so much trauma, and this is all pulling back those feelings and thoughts. So, Sky says just above it, like, so Jade needs to go through the tree, which is where I want to go next, is to Jade and Henry.
All right, hold on. Just give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. I need
And
my special little titles. What did you give me? What did you give me?
oh, you're
I
ready?
think he is becoming that scared little boy again, Daphne. Okay.
Jade and Henry. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah, just Jade and Henry.
Oh, I have
So,
more. You'll see.
okay. So, you know, when I am teaching math and I'm trying to solve a math problem and we're stuck, the first thing I will do is I'll be like, all right, let's draw a diagram.
Right.
And that is what Jade has done with this bottle tree. He couldn't figure it out with it just sitting on the table, with it on the wall, with pictures and stuff like that. He couldn't figure it out. So he decided to build one. So now, Jade is totally sober. He's committed to that. And he climbs up the ladder, hangs the bottle, and then looks, and there's Christopher and Jasper. And I'm like, what
Oh
the
yeah,
hell
that was
did you do?
great. I love the fact that he has the conversation with them, and Christopher has not said a word yet,
Yeah, he hasn't said anything.
and
We actually haven't really, other than the wah 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 yelling at the boy in white, we
like,
haven't heard his
but
voice.
the best part is when Jasper and he
I
jumps
thought
off.
it was that screen from season 2 when
But the
Jasper
thing is, he
first
knew it
shows
was
up.
coming, and he still had a problem with it.
Didn't know it was coming. If I was on a ladder, I would have slid down it too, you know? It was just, oh my
It was
God.
a good comic relief in a
Yeah,
serious situation, but I love how Henry is really trying to figure out Victor, and he went to Jade, and they had a little walk in the woods.
yeah. So, let's see. Henry's
Ups-
attention. He asks who Jade was talking to. Oh, that's what gets Henry's attention. All right. So Jade and Henry are walking. I think they're going to go search party with everybody else,
Right,
right?
right,
So Jade tells Henry that he needs to stop trying to fix Victor. Victor is not broken.
right.
Victor is a product of this place. And Henry's just not understanding Victor. And Victor is like Tarzan having grown up in the jungle, and then someone is criticizing him for
Well,
how he
this is the
uses a
quote. This is
fork
the
or
quote. This
something
is the
like
quote.
that. Yeah.
Here's the quote.
So yeah, he's Tarzan growing up in the jungle, and you're the guy that comes along and makes him feel like an asshole because he doesn't know how to use a fork. Which, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I think in everyday life, we do that to people. Like, we expect people to handle situations, that they know nothing about, where they're just out of their element, you
Well,
know?
it's like when we ask younger kids, like my daughter, to make change
Yeah.
in certain ways.
Oh my God, yeah.
I
That's
mean,
just
everybody gets all
awful.
mad at them. Why don't you not make change? Well, they don't really use change. I'm not here to go on that whole tangent.
Well, yeah, but you know what? It's not even that's not even a new thing. I
Right.
mean, I know when I was in school, we were taught how to make change. Okay? And I can still do it, thankfully. I mean, not like it's any great skill, but it seems like a great skill. We don't use a lot of cash. I know like me having cash on me is kind of a rarity, but
But yeah, no, I get it. I mean, yeah, it's
they can't make change. Like it's like they don't have that concept,
right.
count back from, up to $1. All right, so now we're gonna jump over to the town meeting.
All right, we're ringing the bell. I know
Yeah,
we're
we're
kind of
ringing the
jumping
bell.
all over the place, but I really think the way we're doing it, it will make sense because we're getting to the good stuff at the end.
Pieces, parts, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it was kind of challenging trying to decide how to do this, but it's like I want to make sure I hit all the parts, all the
Yeah,
pieces,
yeah, I know. I'm
parts.
with you. I'm 1,000%
Yeah.
with you.
So, but Donna and Boyd call the town meeting, they get everyone there, and um, they say that Fatima is missing. And the thing about Fatima is that she's so lovable that no one has any problems going out to look for her. And I think they would look for just about anybody, but because it's Fatima, everyone is like on deck. Boyd knows Fatima is close because he says, because something here has told us that she's alone, afraid, and can't that they won't find her. He says that they can lay down and die or say a double bird fu. And I do not give the finger. That is just something that I don't do but I did do it one time to a principal that I had, but and it was the double bird. I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go full bird, you know. So anyway, they pair up to go out and search, and it's Ethan and Jim, Kenny and Boyd, Elgin and Ellis, which Elgin and Ellis and Donna and Acosta, like
I know.
I'm just like talk about pairings. It might have been interesting to see Elgin and Acosta, but that's not how it worked out. Boyd and Ellis decide to split up so that they can increase their chances of them being the ones to find Fatima. So Ethan and Jim go to the RV, and I'm not sure why they go to the RV or they just decided to take that one. But while they are there, as they're leaving, Thomas comes over the radio
Oh,
and it's like, you know, Ethan's like, "You're not my brother." You know, like, we don't
oh,
believe
that
you.
just I will say this, and
Yeah,
I really that was the first time after listening to The Boy in White, I
yeah,
really thought it was him. But I know it's not. I just
yeah,
it really sounded like the actor Vox.
yeah.
Um, and I, yeah, I do want to pop this up there. One of the listeners, Sky, said, "I'm scared for Boyd because he keeps making these decisions." Kenny's mom was a bad.
Declarations.
I'm sorry,
Declarations.
declarations.
He
I'm
keeps
sorry.
Yep, that's all right.
Kenny's mom was bad enough, and
Oh
you know
my
what?
gosh, yeah.
You know, they're setting him up for failure. I mean, they keep setting him up. They keep setting him up, and
Well, he sets himself up. Like, he's just like, "Oh, you want me to fail? How can I help you?" You know, like he just,
no,
yeah.
I get it. I get
I mean,
it.
he's helping them break him.
No, I get it. I
Um,
mean,
yeah. So I think like the creepy one was just Elgin and Ellis.
oh, that was fun.
And oh my God. I mean, Elgin's eyes, like wide open eyes, looking like like I've heard that if you can see someone's entire like circle of their eye, that they're crazy. You know, like if you can, like if they're just walking around like that all the time. And you know, of course, like I went and looked in the mirror to see if I could do that. Yeah. See, you're not doing it. You're not crazy. But I don't know. Maybe I am. I don't know. But anyway, Elgin compares his friend going missing and they find him at the playground to
I know. And
Fatima.
Ellie's just like, he's like, this is
Yeah,
my
like,
wife, you idiot.
yeah. We're not gonna find her at the playground. There she is. There's Fatima on that merry-go-round next to the old Matthews house. Like, "Here I am." You know what? They can't find her because she keeps spinning around.
Yeah,
But,
right. No, I think that I think that that was creepy, and
yeah.
he is creepy, and he is becoming more put the lotion in the basket guy than ever
Oh
before. And
my God, we should have asked him if he watched the movie this week.
I did. He didn't answer me yet. I'm
Oh,
waiting for
okay.
Elgin to say, "Oh yeah, I know where she is. I locked her in the cellar." But
But here we have, yeah, yeah. There's a bigger plan to this, and that's the way he's talking to Fatima, like, he's just almost like you are making, like you're just making such a huge sacrifice voluntarily, and you know the world is gonna worship you. Like,
when was this voluntary?
I know, right? Oh my gosh. So, then they go to the Brundles, and Fatima had brought, um, Elgin out there, you know,
Yeah,
when
because
he
she was
first
his
got
prop.
there, and because he was her proxy, and or she was his proxy or whatever. And, you know, she did so much for me, and it makes me wonder if it was fated for Fatima to be his proxy, to show him around, that sort of thing. Let's see, Fatima was helping him when he arrived, along with him hitting on Sarah and Julie, like Sarah the murderer, Julie the
Well, wait.
16-year-old.
Okay, wait. How about this hot take? I just thought
Who's
of.
got a hot take?
I do.
You do?
What if Elgin was feeling the waters out to find out who would be the best carrier for this baby?
Baby? Or I wonder, I think that's a good take on it. And I wonder if Fatima, like, because she can't have a baby, I wonder if she was missing. No, she had a uterus. I
No,
was
but
just
okay,
wondering if
so
she
wait,
was,
look at his situation. You've got Julie who's too young.
yeah,
Okay, you've got Sarah who's batshit crazy. Like nobody care. Fatima is the one that,
is grounded.
well, she's the one that's invested in the whole community.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, there could have been somebody else, but she also has the best story with
yeah,
Ellis and everything else.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, when Ellis said, "That's my wife," I'm like, when did they get married? I'm like, duh, you were at the wedding. It was like the most beautiful wedding. All right. So anyway, he tells Ellis this. Not going to lose. You're not going to lose Fatima. It's going to be okay. What if Fatima is doing something to help us? This might be a good thing. Don't have all the information on the baby.
My God.
Don't be afraid. Think she'll be okay. He said all of those things to Ellis.
And Ellis couldn't pick it up. Like
Yeah,
that
Ellis,
he
yeah, like, Elgin is like, she's going to be okay.
Okay, wait. I
We're
have
not
to
going
talk
to
I have
lose
to
her.
talk to Sky right now. I think
Yeah,
he didn't know anything until he started seeing the weird. Okay, but this is
kimono lady.
the
But
problem with your theory. Hold on. He had a dream in the
on
bus.
the bus. And then he went into convulsions like he was being activated.
Right. So he might not have had all the parts of the plan, which is
Yeah,
find the pregnant girl, but he might have been like, hey, there could have been some other stuff going on.
yeah,
But he couldn't
yeah,
remember. You're absolutely right. He couldn't remember. So my point being is it was kind of like he's getting all the piecemeal. So I mean, I think we're saying the same thing. I just think he doesn't
yeah,
have he didn't have all the pieces in the puzzle, but he had enough to go to the next part. And I think that's a good point. So yeah, they were creeping each other out there because he was
yeah,
kind of tiptoeing. And for those of you that just joined us, because we had a bunch of numbers people come in, we are talking
yeah,
season 3, episode 9,
yeah.
Revelation, chapter 1. And we are, if you want to hit that subscribe button, go hit it because we are close to our goal, which is 800
You want to get
subscribers.
to 800? Oh, okay.
We're at
Does
790.
anyone think?
It's 790.
Yeah.
Does anyone think what? Fatima will
Does anyone
open. I'm sorry.
the hatch in the ground? Yeah. Like you know what? When she found that, it reminded me of the hatch in Lost, and I was like, I am not going back to there unless they've got Desmond down there. That is the only reason I would care about that hatch.
Oh, wait a second. Read this one.
Is anyone else alarmed that Fatima took the pregnancy test the morning after Boyd killed the monster? Seems like they could be connected. Well, maybe things just change shape.
Well,
There's
with a
no
name like
wasted
Miss
energy
Baby
because energy
November,
can never be destroyed.
but with a name like Miss Baby November,
Yeah.
maybe she knows something that we don't know. I've always felt there was some sort of connection between him and Fatima and Alice somehow. So we are all picking up on something that is happening now. Who knows? But the
Yeah.
fact is, folks, we got one more episode, and I love all these theories. But I think what's more interesting is, and I think we really need to get to it, is what happens when Tabitha and Julie split up and go on their adventure.
Right. So let me get to that. All right.
Okay.
So now we're going to go join Fatima in that little room. So Elgin says to her, "You're not a prisoner here." Yet he's got her locked in. Like, you know, I don't know if there's a lock on the outside of the red door, but he certainly pushes that armoire across in front of it. And then there's a latch on the door beyond that. So she's locked in there. So Elgin says the baby was scared and hungry, and that's why Fatima killed Tilly. Elgin has brought his blood for food, which Fatima drinks. The baby helped when he remembered his dream, and the baby helped him to remember his dream, and it helps Boyd to save the town. I'm like, Elgin is like, you know what? He's talking all this bullshit, and I'm like, oh my God, you sound like a crazy person, Elgin.
He is.
Like he's just like he just should be walking around with his
Hey,
eyes
wait.
like this, and they should be swirling.
So Sky kind of narrowed it out. So first off, Elgin is seeing dead monsters on the ground,
No,
i.e.,
he
Jade.
said saying, wait a minute.
No, he's
Elgin
seeing
said,
dead monsters on the ground. He's supposed to be, he's helping her with the pregnancy, and he helped with the death of Smiley. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely he's got something going on
yeah,
with. But I really don't believe, and Daphne says this too. I don't believe Elgin's bad. I don't think Sarah's bad. I just
yeah,
think that they're the catalyst for whatever these people are. And we
they're
just hit over
puppets.
200 viewers right now. And welcome
Yeah,
everybody.
they're puppets. That's all there is to it. They're just puppets. And, he's talking about this baby, and Fatima says the thing inside me is not going to do good things. So there's some sort of communication going on between the
Right,
two of them.
right.
So, when he had brought her some larger clothing, because like remember we see her and she's kind of like kneeling on the floor, and her belly is way
Oh,
out
I
like this
know,
all of a sudden.
I know.
And so the shirt she's wearing is no longer fitting. I mean, she is a petite little
Well,
thing.
no, then did you see the outfit that they gave her? That green dress thing. I mean,
Green
that
dress.
thing is like
Yeah.
something from you know put the lotion in the basket, all right. I
Yeah.
mean,
So she puts that on, and she takes her Uggs off, so that she's gonna take her pants off, and that's when she notices the little latch in the floor and starts, cleaning that off. Um, so let's jump over to Tabitha because we're gonna come back to Fatima,
well, I
in
first want to say when we start doing that, at this point, what is happening? Boyd has told them we're gonna split up in pairs, and the Matthews decided that they all want to be part of this. So Jim goes with Ethan. They go off, and Julie goes off with Tabitha. And I just wanted to set the stage a little bit. And now
Okay.
do your thing.
All right, so Tabitha, when she's in the church earlier in the episode, she touches Victor and she kind of goes someplace. Like there's just,
Right.
that she's not standing right there. We don't know what it is. So now we're in the search party with Tabitha and Julie, and they look in Victor's trailer. There's nobody there, so that was an easy thing. Julie doesn't think she was dreaming when she was in the ruins. She thinks that she actually went someplace.
Right.
And she tells Tabitha that she worries that she'll end up there all alone, which is so sad. Tabitha, like they're standing at the back end of the trailer when Tabitha sees one of the Ankui kids. and the Nkui kid motions for them to follow her. And
Come
so
here,
they,
come here,
yeah,
come
over
here.
here, over here, I have someplace fun to go. I need you to unlock this door for me. I can't reach it. But anyway, they start following the kid, and the kid leads them to the root cellar. And one of the doors is open. So Tabitha steps down into the steps, and she's, like chest high in there, and she goes someplace. And Tabitha thinks someone wait a minute, oh my God, she goes somewhere. Ugh, she's off somewhere. I don't think we see where she's at,
No,
right?
they don't. No.
This is the point where, oh, I know. Okay, it's only been an hour since I've seen this, and I'm already forgetting it. This is the point where Kimono Woman shows up and covers Fatima's mouth so
Shh.
that they won't hear Fatima screaming for help. And so she's got Fatima trapped there on the bed. So Julie brings her mother out of that place, and Tabitha goes all the way down into the first room, and she sees Victor. And Victor is just standing there, like facing the corner. He's not standing in the corner, but he's facing the corner. So he said, this is where my mother left us, meaning himself and Eloise. And Victor thought there was a reason that he lived, but what he's realizing is that he was the reason why his mother died, which was so sad. And sad enough that Tabitha, like, who really cares for this man, um, like she's taken him in like a son almost, but another adult. But she goes to hug him to console him, and she just goes someplace else totally different. She can see Miranda hugging Eloise and Victor, so it's Eloise. We see Eloise's face and Victor's face, and then Miranda is in the center of them, and she's just telling them how much she loves them, and then she leaves. And the next thing we see is
There's only one word.
oh, wait a minute. Tabitha pushes away from Victor, saying, no, it's impossible, because like she was Miranda. But then the next thing we see is Miranda running through the woods, and she comes to the faraway tree, but we don't know, not the faraway tree, the bottle tree, but we don't know which bottle tree it is. Is it just the bottle tree, or is it the faraway bottle tree? And she stops, and then all of a sudden we see Smiley, and then he's on her. Like, he's like, and then he's on her. Like, she doesn't even have a chance. She doesn't even have a chance. And I'm thinking it's either she went to the wrong tree, or she was at the right tree, but the hole was on the other side.
All right. We need to address some stuff in the chat. Okay?
I want to.
Because first off, I'm with G. G, you're my man right now. This is not reincarnation, folks. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe G and I are on an island. Maybe it's called Lost. I don't know. I never saw Lost. I think that the entity knows how to put things in people's minds to make them create. You touch something and you feel something. Okay.
And G, I'm not sure I agree with G on that, but he is absolutely 100% correct that smiling running was interesting. Did you see Jamie actually put a video on Instagram about him being on the show this week? So
I'm so happy that he's back on the show.
That's what I love about this show. Like, people might die, but they keep coming back.
Well, they have,
yeah,
they go past, they do past stuff. I mean, the only one that we want to see, and I know everybody wants to see her,
Mrs.
and
Lou.
no, we
I
want to see
want to see. Oh,
Jasmine.
Jasmine. I want to
But
see both
we
of them.
don't. We've talked about it. I don't think she's going to return anytime soon.
I
But
don't think so. I
Molly
wish she would
Dunsworth.
though.
I've said this to her on multiple texts. You
Yeah.
know, her interview is reached over 10,000 views,
Yeah.
and she has to be the most interesting woman in From when it comes to people wanting to know about that character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And we
but
did do an interview with her. So,
that's what I'm
if you're
saying.
watching this and you're like, oh, I'd love to see more about her, we do have an interview, but you'd have to, I think, go to our podcast.
No, no, no.
I don't,
It's on our podcast as well as it's on our YouTube. It's got over
oh, okay. It's
10,000.
also on our, oh, yeah, it is. That is what's on the YouTube. I thought it was something much shorter. It is a short interview, but it was, really pretty
Yeah,
good.
see,
Um,
hold on. Like Lisa is saying, I think this is more likely that she's grown up Eloise than reincarnated. I don't think she's either.
I don't think so. Because I don't know, I put Jim and Tabitha at about 40 years old, which Eloise was no more than 10. Victor was younger than Eloise. So it would make sense if Victor is 50 now, if they were reincarnated, if she is the reincarnated Miranda, it would make sense that Tabitha would be about 40 years old. I was thinking about that this week.
Well,
So,
I I think Peter has gotten the answer to all of From.
nah, she
Oh,
isn't.
no.
Oh, that's G.
Yeah.
Nah,
She's
she
not
isn't
Miranda. She's
Miranda or
clearly
Eloise.
Tabitha is Smiley. Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Get it. No. Um, why don't you read what G said?
I think she's envisioning what happens. Her being any of them people would be silly.
G, I'm with you, my friend.
I'm not.
I'm totally with
I'm
you.
not. Like, the thing about it is that Miranda was connected to that place before she got there. She was seeing visions of that place.
But I think though, to your point, and folks, we're talking episode 9, season 3. Um, is this? I think there's something to do with chess. We got to go back to that. We're not going to do it today, but I think the pieces are interchangeable.
I
Okay.
started working on that. I'm gonna
Okay.
get
And,
back to
and,
that,
and it
but
goes back to the first episode or the second episode when Kenny talked about chess. I think that these people are interchangeable, and the entity, like Jade said, she was going to come to From whether she liked it or not.
yeah,
Every person has a purpose in this place. The EMTs, we keep going back to this. They had one purpose to get them to From.
yeah,
Jade's best friend had one purpose to get him from.
yeah. I mean,
Boyd's
they
purpose.
died.
But Boyd's
Yeah,
purpose, what's Boyd's purpose? To get everybody rallied, to get to be a cohesive unit. What's Mrs. Lou's purpose? To feed, to be a Kenny has grown up enough that he doesn't need his parents anymore. I'm just
yeah,
I mean
yeah.
that's
I
part of
mean,
it.
they got rid of them, but and Julie is her mother's daughter. So it kind of makes sense that she was one of the three. We don't know we really don't know anything about Randall. We don't know that much about Marielle other than she's Christie's fiance and she's kicked a drug habit. That's about all we
But
know.
she's also a medical person. So
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, they could have taken anybody out at any time, and they've chosen not to.
you know what it is? Like all the extraneous townspeople, I feel like they're food for the monsters. That's what their purpose is, so that they don't mess with the people
The core.
that they need for this game because, you know, Frank's entire family was taken out. No more Pratts.
we didn't need them. You know, they were our introduction
we
and that
needed
was it.
Bob, but we needed Bob for our podcast.
Well, yeah, he couldn't be on our podcast the way he is now if he was still on the show. We would never have him. I'm kidding.
Wait, hold on. I think Marielle is there just to have a relationship drama? I don't think so. I think it's more than that. I think it's more than
You
that. I hope
know,
so.
I don't really like the way they use her. She is backup medical. She isn't talking about what happened to her when, you know, with the cicadas. They
Cicadas.
like cicadas. She doesn't really leave. Well, she does.
All
She
I
has
know is
left.
this, Lizzie.
She doesn't do much.
Lizzie.
Like,
All I
yeah,
know is this. If you're going to take me to a place at night where there's monsters and I don't have to work, I don't have to worry about paying bills, I don't have to do any of this stuff, and all I have to do is worry about eat, drink, and be merry,
and stay in
sign me
after
the
dark.
frig up. I mean, at
I
least
wonder how stressful it is there.
no, but I'm just saying, like Donna said it, and she put the nail on the head. At least here, we know where the monsters are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You
there's
know
something to
exactly
say
who it
for
is.
that.
Except for they didn't count on Elgin.
Well, all right, let's
You
see
know?
why don't you read this one?
So when Tabitha was at Victor's house, Henry told her that Miranda was seeing visions of the chosen ones. I guess what happened to her is the same in episode 9. Yeah, to some extent, like she's definitely connecting with Miranda in some way. Like there's some kind of common energy bond between them. I'm trying to like okay. So I think the people are there for monsters to have fun more than food.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to move to this bill-free town. Colony House parties look fun.
You know what?
Okay,
You and me
G.
both. You and me both, G.
Lisa, what do you think is going to happen with Randall?
I think they just want to torture him.
I wonder if he was in the armed services and was, oh gosh, like he would, what is that word? You know, when they try to break down a prisoner to get information from them.
Yeah, they interrogate
What
him.
is that called? What is the
It's
interrogator?
oh, here we go.
Because it's strange that the boy in white believed Christopher was the chosen one or knew Victor was standing there and he would tell his mother about the conversation.
Oh yeah. No, I think I'm with G though. I think Victor is a pawn. I mean Victor.
No,
I think
Randall.
Randall's a pawn in all this. The question that has to be answered, which we're not going to get answered tonight, is what is the bigger game? Are they playing
Yeah.
chess and are the because it seems like the monsters are playing chess and the survivors are playing checkers. And it, you know, Donna said it, and I keep going back to these little tidbits that she throws in. The game is rigged. You know,
Yeah.
they know everything about them. And
Yeah.
yeah, Eloise is disappeared is still a mystery. Maybe she will show up. Um, you know, uh, Daphne said, this is great. I like that Jim and Ethan walked away from the radio voice because they've gotten past
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah, definitely. They both, you know, neither one of them fell for that Thomas thing.
Well,
Neither one
yeah,
of them.
yeah.
I
So
mean, Jim was just like, what the, you know, but he did not for a second think that it was Thomas. And Ethan was like, you're not Thomas, you know?
you can't
Um,
be. So she doesn't know what's going to happen with Randall, but with the cicada sounds, his common sense is around Jim. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, yeah, Randall is just on edge because
yeah.
they just keep beating the crap out of him. But
Wonder, see, I think that Randall has a purpose. And if you look at the three of them, they are all acting differently.
And you know what? Lisa also makes the point that they're all still alive for a reason. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all still alive. So
Yeah.
that being said, what do you think about next week's episode?
I don't know. I don't even know what to expect. Like I remember when The Walking Dead was on, we'd kind of predict like who would be, oh wow, Church has showed up or finally said something. We would predict who might be killed in the closing episode of the season. Like who do you think is gonna die? You
Right.
know? I don't really think about this show in that respect. Like, I don't think about who's going to die. Um, I mean, they set us up but good with the teaser trailers, like Mrs. Lou looked like she was on the chopping block. Randall looked like he was on the
Tabitha.
chopping block. Tabitha, like all of them. We were
And
all
I
like,
love, and guys, I got to tell you, it was hysterical when you go on the internet every single week and everybody had their different thing. I know what is going on. And I'm
yeah,
going to tell you right now, we never say that because we don't have a freaking clue because we've been doing this long enough. The trailers are designed to do that. And
yeah.
the only reason we figured out that it was Mrs. Lou
Was
was
that stupid
because,
plate?
well, no, because it was the second trailer that that proved it. But so we've got some people that are
When I
doomed.
saw the plate, I knew. I mean, Elgin is the true pawn. He can be thrown away. He's not going to make it out of this alive. Um,
Oh yeah, no, he's totally. I
yeah,
think he's done. I
yeah,
mean, maybe not this season, but he might get done in the first two episodes of next season. I think.
yeah.
Uh, the
You
plate.
know, the guy, the body of a guy's body was in that room. I wonder if they just covered it up or took him out before they put Fatima in there. But that body,
It looked like
like
Jade. Everybody thought it was Jade.
it did look like jade, but the shirt wasn't right. Um, the body, a man, he couldn't have given birth to a monster, or could he?
Well, stranger things have happened.
Well, we don't even know how the monster gets out. They might just burst through the belly.
Who knows? Well, maybe we'll find out this week, or
Yeah,
or next week, I should say. Um,
yeah. Well, I
Maybe it
don't
was Martin.
have, what's that?
Maybe it was Martin. Who knows?
Maybe it was Martin, yeah. I don't have anything else.
Well,
But
folks.
I
First
think
off,
I've
I want
hit
to
all
thank
my
you guys
notes.
for listening, and
Yes, I know.
we've got over 233 listeners right now.
I mean,
Watchers.
that is such an honor. Like, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I hope you'll be back with us next Sunday night when we talk about the finale. Um, that is going to be rough.
We're gonna try. We're gonna try to have a special guest. I don't want to say who it is yet because we've got a couple of people lined up.
We
Um,
do. Yeah.
We do. And we're just trying to make sure we can get everyone. But just so you guys know, a little bit of a heads up, just because the show is going to be over next week doesn't mean that we're not going to continue the conversation. We're going to try to podcast at least once a month.
I'm wanting twice. I know it's a
Well,
lot,
we'll
but
see. We'll see what we can do. We're
yeah,
also going to try to get some of the actors that we haven't talked to in a while back here now that the season's been over. Um,
yeah.
we still have some. Maybe we'll get Christopher to talk. Maybe we'll just stick him in a room and we'll get him to talk. Damn it! Or we'll get Jasper.
We'll
That would
get him on just to hear what his voice sounds like.
exactly. But again, folks, if you want to support the podcast and what we're doing, you can always, get one of our awesome shirts or
Or
one of
oh,
them.
I'm sorry, but I am in love with the new shirt where it's the bottle tree
Yep.
and above it it says an adventure of a lifetime. I'm in love with that t-shirt and it has from written on the side. I'm ordering myself one because I've got to have it. But yeah, we've got a bunch of
You mean this
stickers.
one?
Yes, I love it. I love it.
And then we also have our stickers.
And it's not just those stickers. Those are the fancy bookmarks.
These are the
Those
stickers.
are other stickers. But it's the poster, which is like the coolest thing. And that's by Kirk Manley. And the thing about it is this just helps defray the cost of trying to put this podcast on.
Yep.
So, and I don't know, we like to be artsy.
But it is past the hour. We're almost into tomorrow. I
Yeah.
want to thank you guys, but you know what ends up happening? At the end of the day, it's dark out and
Yeah.
it's time to go home. So we'll see you
Time
guys
to
next
go.
week for the big grand finale. And make sure you have your talismans. Bye.
Get you home. Let's go. Come on, get in your house. Let's go. Come on.